Hello and welcome to another wonderful episode of Galaxy Social Trends with me, your boy KATLEHO, MOGAMPANYANE. Shout out to you. Obviously, you're watching Galaxy Universal Network on channel 500 on Starset. But let's say I get some one today. Get some TYALANA. TYALANA, welcome to the show.
Miss, don't you
dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Greetings, my Africa, my Slay, I'm doing NOZIBINI, and welcome to another exciting episode of do we call it 360?
Yeah. 360 Sports and
360
Trends. We are revamped.
Our Galaxy Universal Network, guys. I'm seeing the love on Instagram and on Twitter.
Woo.
I'm loving it. Thank you, guys. Thank you. For all those of you who are not on Instagram yet, follow us, guys. It's Galaxy SA. It's Galaxy SA _trends, and on Twitter it's trends_galaxy.
Yeah. Did I greet my brothers and cousins and all my? Greetings of my brothers in Nigeria, Somalia, Sudan, Tanzania, Guinea, Equatorial Guinea, Mali.
Guys, don't you dare.
Let's just move on to today's headlines. We'll also be talking about a story of EFF again in the news.
And again, we're going to be talking about #funeral industry strike.
And we'll also be talking about SASA in the news again for something controversial. Like, wait, not really this time though.
And on the sad news, we're going to be talking about #human trafficking.
And some good news, Nyana, Utobega and Casper Mufasa.
And on the good news note, guys, we're going to be talking about #Fenty.
Yeah.
Now, guys, starting off the news today, it's the assault case against the Economic Freedom Fighters leader, Julius Malema, and his colleague, Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, has been postponed to next month for a trial date. The two briefly appeared in the Randburg Magistrates Court on Monday morning, relating to an incident that happened at the funeral of struggle icon Umamuyini Madikizela Mandela in 2018. Malema and Ndlozi are accused of assaulting a police officer at the burial.
Yeah, so we know, like, I feel like EFF, they name themselves Economic Freedom Fighters. I feel like that fighters is bold, italic. Like, it's just
literal.
Everything is fighters, like born and Jay. They always, there's always a mass, anything
around them.
I feel like they are those people. And Economic Freedom Fighters leader Julius Malema was actually speaking outside of court this morning. We actually have a clip of Malema just basically saying, you know what, this matter, they would not lose this matter because this guy was actually impeding their right to actually see Umamuyini, the send-off for Umamuyini. So just check this video out of EFF
he was probably
leader.
given a sign.
Sure. Yeah, EFF leader Julius Malema just speaking at the court. Check this out.
No, just basically, if you can just tell us what happened inside for all those who weren't in there.
Well, the matter has been postponed to the 13th of October for trial purposes, and we'll be here on the 13th of October. I still think that it was unnecessary for us to come today because we are going through a pandemic as a country. And therefore, any court that requests us to appear without necessarily a trial is risking our lives and the lives of ordinary people. Because you will know that as public figures, when we come here, a lot of people will want to interact with us, and we don't know who's in a good state of health and who's not. So it was irresponsible actually to even ask us to appear. You will know we've got other matters in the Eastern Cape, East London, in Bloemfontein, in Newcastle. All those courts have said for the purposes of postponement of these cases, it will not be necessary for us to appear, especially now during COVID-19. So I think someone was just irresponsible by inviting us here.
Yeah, we are yet to see developments on the story. Like, I feel like, hence I said before, the EFF is always surrounded by, especially when it comes to white people. I mean, we know they like fighting for racial equality and fighting against the racial inequality in South Africa. And again, this mess was very sensitive because it happened at a funeral. Can you imagine in 2018 and we are still going through this matter?
Now, I just have one plea with followers the EFF. Just challenge Malem. Just challenge him.
They wouldn't dare. They wouldn't dare.
Just guys, try to question him. Question how he does things. Why did he say this and this and that? Put him in court, guys. Make him sit down and explain. Yeah.
Do you know, I've actually wondered, I'm like, do you think EFF would actually last if Malema was to leave the party? because I feel like that leadership is so based on whatever Malema says.
Whatever
and
he says.
I know he started the party, but obviously I feel like sometimes it's too much, like who. But actually I have a video of EFF Julius Malema also speaking of the situation in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is facing high inflation, is facing soaring prices of everything. It's just bad. Like, there's no power, there's food shortages, just everything going. And then Zimbabwe's government is actually saying there's no crisis. Imagine people don't have enough food, people are losing jobs, and when they're saying, and EFF
and
like
most
we
of them
always
is
do.
young people.
Exactly, it's the youth that Zimbabwe is actually suffering right now. We actually have Malema actually saying, in this situation in Zimbabwe needs South Africa to also pull their weight and actually help Zimbabwe. So just check this out.
Leaders of the governing party skipped out of the country using one of the jets of the executive by the SANDF with Minister NOZIBINI. You as a leader of the opposition, will you be raising some of these questions and how these leaders were able to fly out to Zimbabwe using state resources instead of paying for their own commercial flights out of the country, barring that they violated lockdown regulations and there are no commercial flights leaving the country?
Well, a Zimbabwean issue is a very urgent issue. It requires an urgent attention, and therefore the leadership of the ruling party saw it befitting to go and interact with the Zimbabwean leaders and find a solution, because we want an urgent solution in Zimbabwe, and anything that can help to restore the sanity in Zimbabwe will support it as the EFF. But to use the state resources by the leadership of the ANC, I think it was irresponsible. And we shouldn't be too dramatic about it. We will ask the Secretary of Defense to invoice the ANC so the ANC pays and they don't repeat that mistake. But going to Zimbabwe, even under lockdown regulations, it is necessary, it is urgent, and therefore it will be reactionary for anyone to say the leaders should not have gone to Zimbabwe. Remember, as members of parliament, as leaders, we've got permits to be everywhere. And therefore we should not dramatize this thing. Was there need to go to Zimbabwe? Yes, there was a need to go to Zimbabwe. Was the mode of transport used acceptable? No. The ANC should have hired a private jet if there are no commercial flights and pay it itself. But since they flew a government plane, let them pay. Let them get an invoice, let them pay. But the mission to resolve the problem of Zimbabwe should not stop. All of us, including the EFF, we should put pressure to find solution to the problem of Zimbabwe.
Yeah, and hopefully, they actually get to help people and all of that. But right now, we want to go to a break. We're going to be talking about the story that's been trending all over social media, hashtag human trafficking. Like, people actually talk, like, we actually have someone after the break was Chalaguti. They actually almost fell victim to human trafficking. Can you imagine how scary your life would be knowing that you
imagine not being safe in your home, because South Africa is our home. So imagine you like, any minute now it might happen. It might happen
any
now.
Minute now. Get it? So and another thing, you remember there was a video that was circulating all over social media last week of a guy that almost wanted to kidnap a child in broad daylight. A developing story on that is that this guy is actually part of a syndicate. Police are yet to reveal details, but that was very nervy of him. But let's just go to a quick ad break right now. I'm even speaking Zulu. Pooh.
Feel the heat.
I love Adam Selman.
The girls are really thin. I think it looks very glamorous from the outside.
The life of a model in New York City.
There is such cool prints. So many.
You know, I'm buying this.
Look at me and all the selfie sort of thing. Honestly, I didn't really know that was actually a job. It just didn't occur to me.
Congratulations. Feel the excitement. Feel the heat with StarSat. Feel the heat.
Chicken portions are an easy way to feed a crowd.
I've just started to incorporate all my ingredients.
We're going to put this inside of a hot cast iron skillet.
You want to really fill up on great protein.
It's now time to sample the chef's dish. Look at this.
I know.
Like that?
Feel the excitement.
The chicken is on the spot.
Feel the heat with StarSat. Challenge your ordinary. Experience the extraordinary.
Not only the government, the municipality here has had no plan.
Now, I believe that my peace is my most valuable asset.
Absolutely beautiful! This is exactly what I was looking for! DJ Khaled!
It is a day to celebrate.
We're ready for action.
I like it when it's nice and soft. Yeah, that is nice.
How was it like growing up in Nigeria? Yes, sir, you know what it is.
Feeling is there that, you're doing something special.
Stop being so dramatic, Mira.
You should just be what you want to be.
Experience the extraordinary with StarSat.
Welcome back from that lengthy break. As when you go to these breaks, I sometimes just wish, or just want to deliver news so much, which we want short breaks. But right now we're talking to Usis Buhle. Like we said before the break, we were talking about matters of human trafficking and this whole scourge. Yes, right now in South Africa it's really scary, which we're dealing with so many pandemics, and then we're still dealing with human trafficking at the same time.
Namna, but Katie, this whole subject is very sensitive because as a woman, I know other women who can't even share the story, so I think it will be really helpful for Usis Buhle to share to other survivors also how she got through and how she's dealing with it, the whole thing. It will help other people at home who are going through the same thing, that talking actually helps. Yeah,
just more on that. We have actually Usis Buhle who actually she almost fell victim to a human trafficking. So you can imagine the kind of sort of trauma that someone goes through. But let's just let Usis talk for herself. Sis Buhle, welcome to Galaxy Social Trends.
Thank you guys for having me.
How are you, sis? Ukraine. Just want to know the story. Just want you to go into the story and just tell us more about your experience.
Okay, I shall do so. This thing all happened in 2014, and this was just after I had graduated. Okay. And again, once you graduated, especially when you're studying with a student loan, that you are desperately looking for a job. So I found myself in that predicament where I was desperately looking for a job, and e-bills were starting to pile up. So I then responded to an advert that was on Gumtree, where they were looking for I can't remember what the post was, but they were looking for an individual. I believe it was to get into the admin. So I then responded, and then immediately they emailed me back, and they told me that they're inviting me to e-interview, which was the next day. Yeah.
Did that email make it seem like it's very legit? Did that email maybe convince you that this is like proper stuff?
I will be honest. When I read the email, the spelling was shorthanded, and I was taken aback. But because to get desperate at times, you kind of maybe overlook such things because you are hoping for, and especially when you send CVs, like hundreds of CVs, when you get that reply, you're like, thank God, I'm getting
you just want a job.
So the email was a bit dodgy, but then I quickly dismissed that idea, and I thought, let me just go ahead and see what this is all about. Yeah.
So then, how did you then discover something's actually wrong? Because some people actually find out when it's too late. And then only then you're like, something's actually wrong.
They really do. You guys are correct in saying that. But then I obviously gave the email to my mom to read. She then read it. She then asked my dad if he can accompany me to the interview. So I went to the interview. It was in Durbanville. Building. It looks like a legit building. But once I entered, I saw that there were no windows, and it was extremely dark, and there were no chairs. When you go into a corporate environment, obviously you feel that sense of safety, but there it was extremely dodgy because it was dark, there weren't any desks, there was no reception, there was nothing of that sort. So this lady then sent me to a little room in the corner, and she said, this is where you're going to have our interview. I remember I even asked her, I said, are you sure this is where we're having our interview? And she said, this is where we're going to interview Arthur. We then sat there, and then she hardly asked me any questions, but then she just asked me, I didn't give ECVM along with my ID and banking details. I gave it to her. And then as I was logging her about the vacancy, because they gave they were very vague with what I was going to do, but what they kept on telling me was that a job might not be a pickup, you know, and a job, they might take me to a location, an undisclosed location.
Okay.
And once they said an undisclosed location, already my, light bulbs started going a light in my head, because I kept asking them, what do you mean an undisclosed location? But no, we only get full information when we are taking you to the location. And then I was like, okay, this is interesting. I said it's interesting because Fika was coming in the office, and I felt really uneasy. So then they told me, if you I told them no, and then they also told me there's a fee if they can be for in training, they're going to give me a training on the day. And it was, I think it was a fee of 500, and I told them, I said, I'm unemployed, I don't have that kind of money. And then they said, no, we will sort something out. And then they said, no, we can even do Yonke London Google.
Manchester, just to cut you off a bit, at this time, are you alone in this, or you're escorted by someone, maybe a male figure or something?
No, firstly I was in this room with this lady, right? This colored lady. She was about middle age, and then whilst we were in the interview, this gentleman came. This gentleman was a tall, dark, a black guy, and he came in. So that's when I started being really worried. He just came in out of the blue, playing that.
Okay.
So Sisi, around about what time yonke lento isenzeka? Singibani ixesha ngoku?
This was I think it was maybe around about 09:10. It was up at Klasa Porf. It was in broad daylight, but it's just that the building already was dodgy. Especially when you were inside, it was dark. But it was Klasa, the normal time you would go for an interview.
So then, how did you escape this potential ordeal? How did you get out of it?
The only way I got out is I told them that my dad was calling me, because they wanted me to stay, right? So I told them that my dad is calling me and he's checking up on me, and also my dad is downstairs. So I told them, if I depend on this phone within the next maybe 5 minutes, that I'm going again. And then that's when they became aggressive, and then they were like, okay, we will then allow you to go to your dad, and then also I told yes.
So then did you maybe report this specific place so that maybe the next person doesn't fall for the same trap? Because I understood you went on Twitter to sort of expose it in as much as you can. Did you report this place? Did you check it out next time? Did you just maybe, is there follow up on this?
I will be honest with you guys. I was extremely afraid, because already my gut feeling was telling me everything is wrong.
You can imagine.
So I didn't even
and they have your details.
report it, because I was worried that they have all my details. They have my banking details. They have
your address.
So what if they might come to my house? So I didn't report it. I will be honest. I didn't because I was afraid.
But no, thank you, sis, for maybe going on Twitter, because even maybe exposing it like this, which is some people are going to be actually cautious. Because again, we live in South Africa where people don't have jobs, so desperation makes people do things of all sorts.
A lot of young people also, because there are a lot of child-headed homes, so everyone just wants to, bring money at home, bring food at home. So, but they're pushed by poverty, actually.
So, Sis Buhle, any parting words for someone that might maybe fall for a certain type of trap? Anything, especially people that are desperate for jobs, people that are just looking for a way out, but just going to these dodgy places because they're desperate. Any parting words?
I think for me, guys, it's important that we first scrutinize the writing on the emails, That's something I didn't do. So scrutinize it and make sure that you're going with someone to the interview. Don't go alone.
Most important.
Make sure you're taking a male figure, whether it's your dad, your brother, your uncle, but because as you guys are saying, it's a tricky world, especially with gender-based violence. So, there's a lot of things that we need to be cautious of. So just don't go alone.
Yeah.
No, thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me, guys. I really hope this will help someone. Thank you.
Yes, I really hope so.
So hopefully people were listening. But let's just go to our last story of the day.
Guys, going to the last story of the day, we're going to be talking about the Department of Health expressed concerns over a threat to strike.
A group of undertakers saying that this action may lead to undesired conditions and risks to public health. So what's happening in this story is that we've got funeral parlor undertakers. Can you imagine them going to strike, especially at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic? Can you imagine how many people are dying right now? And you've actually got funeral directors and parlors that are saying, you know what, it's appalling conditions where they work. Sometimes it's very risky, especially now, because abanye, you've got so many COVID-19 people that are dying. Abanye, you're not even sure if it was COVID-19, and you could actually be exposed to this. So they're basically saying, you know what, when they want better working conditions. And the Department of Health actually noted this and said, when they're going to try to do something, they're still talking over this method just to make sure they have a good resolution.
No, I still think the government of South Africa can still do better, you know?
Yeah.
Like the places that can actually, we can accept, okay, you can go for like and just strike and all of that.
Yeah.
We can accept those kind of things, but we can't have funeral parlors actually going on strike. You know, we can't be accepting into Zinjalo. It's like even with the corruption that is happening on like SAA was about to go. We can't be accepting such things. You know, that we need to have those departments where you just accept that, okay, they're not being provided with the better public services. We can accept that in other spaces, but not places like funeral parlor, flights, guys. There's a lot of people at stake, a lot of people at risk, you know?
Yes, that's true. Let's just move on to a lighter story. I mean, we talk about human trafficking, we talk about COVID-19.
You're so excited.
We're talking about things. So let's just talk about, I'm really excited over this because Casper Nyovest keeps on dropping. He drops an album. Now he's just dropped what's
so
his name?
Any minute now is here.
Any minute now is finally. Oh wow, that's a smart one. Yeah.
So guys, rapper Casper Nyovest and his bae Miss Thobeka Majozi are on cloud 9 after the birth of their first child.
Congrats.
The Titomboweni hitmaker took to social media late on Sunday evening to post a picture of himself dressed in medical scrubs and preparing for the birth, writing, "Let's go." He told fans on Twitter that nothing could prepare him for the moment he saw his son, revealing that their little one had arrived and the couple had named him Khotso after his late brother. The couple have yet to post snaps of their son, but were flooded with messages of congratulations from fans, friends, you know, celebrities across the country, including Black Coffee, Uzakwe, DJ Bongs, Omuhle Gela, and Umepsi Maponyane.
To name Kanyimba. So Casper drops an album. We congratulate him. 2 days later, he drops Ukhotso. We congratulate him. And the beautiful thing about the story, guys, so we know that Casper was technically raised by Java. Like Java he's been talking about Java from the get-go, Tswako and all of that. So can you imagine the kid was actually born
on the same day as...
Oh my gosh, that is such a beautiful story. It was actually good, So apparently people are also saying that celebrities actually plan these things. So I don't know how does Casper time Thobeka and her delivery. So I don't know why people would say that. Yeah, but
guys,
and we're hearing if you go to that doctor and doctor times that we are now pushing babies out just to make sure.
Guys, we thought this was a miracle.
Yeah, but it's a good thing. I mean, come on, like.
No, I thought the universe was just talking to him. Also, you know, like maybe his spirit angel is Java.
Wonderful opportunity to name the child Java, and the child would live through Java because you know
he's gonna be
he's gonna have nose Java and those type of things. No, but you know how people are. If I know Coco, justice and but just and all of that. So, but this is no, to Drake or picture on one of the two. So
such an American.
But anyway, guys, congrats to Java on both ends. I listened to the album. I am not a fan, but congrats for Umtwanake. Maybe Umtwanake is you know.
Did you listen to the album?
I listened to the album. I bought in it. I have a favorite track.
Wakala, is it sad?
No, I have a favorite track, but it's not on his album. But so so anyway, guys, that's all we had for you today. And imagine today's spelling your sports, guys. I mean, we kicked you off in your sports. It was so beautiful.
Guys. And our sport fans were crying.
Yeah,
like,
they were saying, guys, you wanted sports, we gave you sports. You wanted me, I gave you me. I've been giving you guys everything in this place.
Ice cream, guys.
So just to close it off, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for watching on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you're watching from the palm of your hand. Yeah, palm of your hand. But something like that. Just closing off right now. We'll see you guys same time, same place tomorrow. Just meet them out.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
I just want to say hi to my family.
Bye-bye, guys.